Hey everybody, it's Don Music here, and we're going to look at the warning doing Narcisista live at Teatro Metropolitan last February, March, April, May, June, July, August. And we're going to watch their guest drummer perform live with them, who is Pau's drum coach. They tend to call him her drum teacher, but I would consider her at her level to no longer be using a teacher as much as a coach to help her improve certain aspects of her already top-notch professional playing. It's a terminology change that is pretty standard in the music industry. So, let's do this. I've seen this before. I need to be like David Heretic. Have I seen this before? Yes, I have heard this song before. I have to say, up front, I have heard this song before, and I have seen this performance before. I have actually seen this performance before because I was in Patreon when this was released. And yeah, at the time, it was amazing to me. I loved it. I enjoyed it, but I didn't pay a lot of attention to it because I've been waiting to do a proper analysis of it for when it went public, and it is now public, so let's do this. I already have some opinions about this because this morning, I tried recording a reaction last night, but my microphone volume didn't work because technology. So I'm doing this again this morning. This is Pow Day, ironically enough, isn't it? This is Saturday. Yeah, it's Pow Day. It's a good day to do Narcisista. I had an opportunity this morning to watch my friend Jesse at Bell Development do a reaction to this. And man, what a reaction it was. I highly recommend all of you guys check out Bell Development, B-E-L Development. The channel he has is amazing, and he is a fantastic musician and audio engineering expert, and just an amazing person. Huge respect to him. And to answer his question, Jesse, since the low B on a bass guitar goes down to B, but the song's in F sharp, the lowest note that Ali could play during the song on her unaltered tuning bass, which I believe she never changes the tuning on it for her 5-string live stuff, is the 4th. So she could go right down to the da, da. She'd go right down to bum 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 dum da 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 dum. Right. So if we're in this key, I think this is the key the song's in, right? Dum dum da 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 dum dum da dum. That's from memory. I hope that's right. But then the 4th would be dum. She'd go down to boom, way down there, right? So anyway, Jesse, yeah. So it could go down to the 4th if she wanted to. Otherwise, she's going to be hitting the 2nd fret on the E string, or the, what is it, I guess, the 7th fret? Math on the B string to hit the root. But she'd go right down anything, or she could work down the scale she wants to. And just a comment, from what I recall from watching your reaction to this song, Ali's doing some very cool, very confident slides and things like that in this performance that are just astoundingly simple looking and I was blown away. Absolutely blown away. Love it. Anyway, let's start this going and see how this turns out. I'm also really interested in hearing, I don't know how to say things in any language other than English, and even English, it's challenging enough for me. Beto Ramos? I hope that's close enough for people to understand who I'm talking about, the guest drummer. I'm not going to try to say his name again. I'll just call him the drummer from now on. And it's just simply because I don't know how to say his name and I don't have it in front of me. But I also want to check out his playing quite a bit because he is a huge influence on Pau. Anyway, let's check this out. Metropolitan, live, Teatro, CDMX, August 29th, 2022, Narcisista by The Warning.
Ok, Ciudad de México. Quiero que todos griten muy fuerte por nuestro querido amigo Beto Ramos. Dicen que hay que rezar por mí. Tan preocupados, pero no me tapo los oídos y simplemente digo na, 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 na. Déjeme negar la lista, no soy loca ni malicista. Na, 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 na. Dicen que soy egoísta. Ya no sé qué hacer, no le veo el punto a pretender, no intento más, porque yo ya sé. Detrás de las cortinas ellos siguen hablando, buenas intenciones siempre salen sobrando. No creas que me engañas con estas. Porque tú no sabes nada, corres la voz y no te callas, me tapo los oídos y simplemente digo na, 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 na. Déjenme negar la lista, no soy loca ni malicista. Na, 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 na. Dicen que soy egoísta, condenada narcisista. Na, 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 na. No volveré a negar la lista, no soy loca ni malicista. Na, 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 na. Dicen que soy egoísta. ¡Gracias, México! ¡Beto Ramos!
Yeah, what she said. The name.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. That was really, 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 really awesome. And even way more awesome than I remembered. And I'm hearing it properly in high quality through my headphones, cranked up nice and loud. And it is astounding. Man, this is good. All right, let's check this out. I'm going to be just finding all the little interesting tidbits I find about this performance. It may or may not be exactly... I'm not comparing it to the recording, studio recording, or the initial debut performance they did live at Fortiti. I'm just going from memory, but also just observing what I enjoy about this.
Okay.
Okay, right off the bat, the bass guitar tone is huge. It's huge. She's got a little bit of overdrive going on it. Just subtle, but it's great. But it gives it that immense sustain and hugeness as well. So it's just this immense, deep, huge, slightly aggressive tone. It's perfect for this, for a power trio. Love how she's doing dun, 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 dun. She did a slide down, and she does it every time in this, I noticed. Very, very, very cool. And that's an Alejandra thing. I mean, it's not like bassists don't slide. She is the master of slides on the bass to make them sound so cool. And her timing and accuracy when she does them is just bar none.
Mexico!
I like how Ale and Danny are like happily kind of excited about the entrance that Pau is making here, where she's like completely off light. You can't see her. They have the spotlights off for the center. No idea where she is. She's probably off stage as well right now, hiding a little bit in the shadows. But so is the drummer, right? It's very cool. So no one really knows what's going on.
Quiero que todos griten muy fuerte por nuestro querido amigo Beto Ramos.
Big smiles from Ale and Danny. That's nice. Very supportive, and they know him well and respect him, and I'm sure it's feelings mutual. Just thinking to myself, it's kind of interesting because he's a very, very, very good drummer and musician. And I wouldn't know who he was if it wasn't for The Warning. How many fantastic Mexican musicians have we been introduced to thanks to The Warning, also being fantastic Mexican musicians who are unusual in that they have a huge international following. So cool. This is a huge thing for him, and yet, musically speaking, he is a more mature performer than the members of this group are. Okay, I'm going to stop right there because he's clearly working with their backing tracks, because I heard the backing tracks in it. So he had to do the trigger to start it, and he was waiting for the right moment. And they're all waiting for the right moment too, for him to start the trigger. I assume he started it. I'm sure he knows how. It's foot pedals, I think, right? They modified the tracks for this performance. It's a new arrangement to work with the drummer, the guest drummer. That probably took a fair bit of work between the entire band and him to work it out exactly how they were going to do it. So even though it sounds free and improvised in it is free and improvised in a lot of stuff, there's still a set arrangement that they had to follow. So they've had to work this out, rehearse, plan it all out very, very carefully. But yeah, anyway, it's very cool. I just love the fact that even though I know they've got a tick click going on in their heads and their inner ears, Danny and Ellie, their relaxed performance of what they're doing is so good and so confident and just completely comfortable, but really, really accurate in the rhythm. Their own playing, regardless of the click. A click does not solve rhythm problems. It can actually introduce rhythm problems or emphasize rhythm problems that you may have. You have to play really accurately to work with the click, and especially when there's no, I know this is such a stereotype, but when there's no drummer to fall back upon, it's not that you're following the drummer, but the drummer covers rhythm things for the rest of the musicians by being the dominant rhythm that you're hearing as a listener, as a fan in the crowd or on the recording here. So for them to play without the drummer and to play that accurately and confidently is very, very cool, and just so, as always, incredibly professional. I love the entrance when they just turn the light on right when she starts. So good. That was awesome that Ale went over to the drummer and was just rocking out with him while Pau and Danny are doing their rocking out together. So cool. Also, observation. I'm wondering, let me try that again. I always wondered in this concert when they were wearing their white outfits. I don't know if it's true of the black ones. I don't recall right now. But the white outfits, Pau's wearing a skirt. She's the drummer. It's not something you generally are aware of or even care about in the crowd because you can't see anything going on. It's like you can't see the person's legs other than like when they do like an occasional side, like in Dust to Dust, side video showing her incredible double kick work. You generally aren't aware of what the drummer is wearing on the bottom half because you're only seeing the top quarter of the drummer really. And she's been wearing a skirt through the entire white outfit section of this concert. Probably there was the knowledge in her head that, you know what, I've got to wear something that'll also look great and be a good front woman thing when I'm stepping out from behind the kit to perform as a lead vocalist only without an instrument, which is cool. I never thought about that until this very moment. So far, the drummer is almost authentically playing Pau's drum parts. Certainly he is here. He has a similar attack to Pau. It's not quite the same. the tone is a little different, almost slightly more of a like jazz influence in the dynamic sound on the snare drum fills, for example. But there's another observation I noticed, which we'll get into when I hear more of it to make sure that I'm right about his choices of fills, which is just very different from Pau's, and very, very cool and very impressive. I like it. So the guitar track, that's what I was going to stop for here as well. So right now there was a guitar track before, but it was pretty minuscule. You didn't really notice it. And it's mostly just Danny playing her live stereo triple channel guitar that she plays. But in this case, now on the right side, I hear a second guitar, which is a track. It's some indistinct notes that fit in the key, but with what the guitarists call the cocked wah sound. So the wah pedal is it looks like a volume pedal you can change with your foot. Here she's not using the wah pedal in the live guitar at all. But this cocked wah is when you set it to a certain angle and you just leave it cocked in that angle. It filters off some of the bottom, the lower frequencies, and then it really emphasizes one peak of frequencies. That frequency that the peak happens at changes with where the wah pedal is adjusted to. And you can also turn it off completely, obviously for normal playing. But it really emphasizes those lower mid frequencies. And as you go like this, it goes sort of, right? It's not exactly that sound, but you get the point of how the tone changes without the pitch changing that you're singing. You get the point. So that sound that I'm hearing in the right channel is very, very mid-rangey, upper mid-rangey sounding. So yeah, it's kind of neat. And it's a good way to just have a distinctive guitar tone. Okay. Danny voice is panned to the right side, Pau's in the middle, and Ale, if she chose to sing in the song, would be on the left. But what's weird is that she didn't sing her background parts. Alejandra sings parts right where I stopped it. She sings parts there, but she didn't do it in this concert. Dum da 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 dum da 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 da, or something like that. She sings the lower part, but whatever it is she sings, I can't remember because he's not singing it. With Pau, she just decided, no, I'm not going to sing today. And that's fine. It's just surprising when you're used to hearing it. Like these bass slides, I mean, she's always done them, but she does them so confidently and so accurately, and it just sounds so good. Dun, 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 dun. No, it's the dun, 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 dun. It's not easy to do that, guys. Every night on tour, on this song, multiple times per the song, and not mess up. And Pau, as a front woman, is insane. Now, she's making an impression. She's singing awesome. This song is challenging because it's really low for her voice, right? And in her lower voice, Pau gets really gravelly, which is one of those endearing things that we all love about her. She's nailing it. Her pitch is on. Her power is there. Holding a mic and running around on the stage. She never holds a mic and performs, ever, right? But she's also got this immense personality. It's bigger than life that she is trying to focus into a live performance for everyone to appreciate. I am Pau, right? And it's working. It is so working. This is just awesome. I love her visuals and I love her vocals in this. Little things that the drummer's doing. With his left stick on the snare. I mean, none of these things are things that Pau cannot do and has not done in all of her drum playing that we've seen in recordings. But Pau, when she writes a drum part, she sticks with it very closely. She adds little changes, but she sticks with it very closely. She doesn't do all the little jazzy, flourishy things, right? I know that she can because I've seen video of her doing it. But she doesn't do it in most of their songs because it's not appropriate to the genre, and it's not what she's doing all the time. She tries to be consistent. This is his moment also to make an impression on the world in a video that he was probably thinking to himself, this could go viral. And I think it's starting to today. And now that he is in this video with this rapidly becoming very internationally famous rock group, he is now going to be a very, very famous drummer. Outside of the circle that he was already very famous in, he's now going to be attracting a new audience. So he too is doing and making a huge effort to make an impression here. Very interesting dynamic you're going to have here when a band is on their own already attracting new audience with every performance. And now they've got a guest performer who's fantastic with them. And that shift is going to be interesting to see how people react. Anyway, let's continue. Alejandra is singing here, but she's only singing the gang vocals. That was a very cool little dance move that Pau was doing while she was singing. Let's rewind 10 seconds and take a look at that. Right here. That was an awesome dance move. I like that. That was very cool. Nice. Look at the facial expression of Pau here. So awesome. She's like, you guys do this. That microphone could not be any higher. I swear she's holding it 10 feet in the air. That's awesome. Observation about the drums here. He also, the cymbal grabs, just like Pau. Doing a great job, sounding just like her. And now he's really starting to add his own fills into this thing, which is cool. He did a little bit earlier and played his own way. I mean, he has his own sound. But it's nice to hear him. He's really starting to... This is the choice he made probably. I'll play very authentic, then I'll start to add my own flourishes, and then I'll just really go for it. It's an arrangement choice. It's not just, I'm just feeling it now. This was a calculated decision by the band as part of the arrangement because this is the warning to build up the song and build up his introducing his own style into the performance as he goes. That being said, it was still very close to what Pau plays on drums, just with his own little flourishes. Listen to this low vocal that she does here. It's so good. I love the gravel in her voice when she sings down there and is really belting. I just think that's one of the coolest sounding things there is. I absolutely adore that sound. I love the fact that the bassist drops out there in the arrangement. It's always been like that. Very cool. Just the guitar and kick drum on beat 1 and the hi-hat. Very cool. Oh, that was cool. Little bass slide from Alejandra on the snare drum hit on the end of 4. Or maybe on 4, I'm not sure which. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I like the he does ghost notes a fair bit. That's what the word I was looking for. The second one of each one. And those things can be so quiet and so subtle that you don't always hear what's going on, but they add incredibly to the fullness of the sound of the drums. But it's also just a personal choice. And also to acknowledge something else that Jesse from Bell Development said earlier. Yes, they all look like they work out constantly and they're very fit. Nice. Do you hear the bass? awesome and right in time with the drummer, but also more importantly, the drummer is right in time with the triplet feel that the band has in that section. Because one thing about these sisters is they feel rhythm the same way as each other. And it's magical. There's a slight pullback on triplets often. It's not like ding, 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 ding rhythm. It's like more like bump, 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 bump. There's a little lag in the second and third of each triplet, and then it comes back on one generally. And it's harder to describe or imitate than it is to just have that feel and do it. He's right with Alejandra on those triplets. Perfect. Danny's dancing. It's awesome. He's still being quite authentic to her drum fills, but without, like, she would, that fill that he's playing, she would have been like, and he's more like, it's like just a sort of a funkier, different kind of sound he's got than her, but awesome all the same. And that's not to say he's playing lightly, he's playing very heavily, but he does use more lights and darks in his playing tone and attack than she does in this song. Okay, so we have to hear these fills. It's like a little drum solo. One thing I've noticed in his fills is he does a lot of like groups of three, not triplets. Triplets are in the same time as tigga 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 tigga. I mean groups of three. It's like tigga 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 tigga, right? So instead of 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, it's 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 style of fills where you don't need to keep ting 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 going all the time for the people listening or for the band members, because everyone's such good musicians, you can just go nuts on the drums, and as long as he's right and everyone else is such great musicians, you'll always still find one and come in just fine. Notice his left foot going up and down there. So he's doing that also jazz technique thing. It's not just jazz, it's lots of styles, but that left foot good drummer technique thing where he's keeping the time all the time, which is cool. So he's doing like a roll into the first beat one of the fills that he's doing on the snare. Very nice, very nice. I like that one. So he starts still doing da 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 da. He's already going off doing 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, which is cool. I love that. That's great. It's not complicated, but it sounds complicated because he's starting it before the little 1 2 3 4 fill section. He's doing it through the whole double section. Awesome. Now let's see what he does next. He knows exactly what he's doing. So even though he's doing like and he does like sort of like a fill, a roll on the drums that then lands on the kick drum on 1, but his kick drum 1 was just slightly behind the beat fill that he executed flawlessly. He's not trying to be a metronome. He's trying to be an artist and a musician here, and he's doing it. The other point about it is that he knows that Alejandra and Danny are rock stars, and they are on it flawlessly. No matter what he does, they will not mess up their time. And you need the confidence in your co-musicians if you're going to do wild drum solos like this. What was that thing that happened there? It was a cool note. It's like the fifth, I think. Da-da-da-da. Trying to figure out if that was like, I think that was maybe Alejandra? It might have been both of them. Added a fifth. Da-da-da-da. That last time. It might have been both of them, but it was definitely Danny did it. But there's so much emphasis on it. I'm wondering if both Danny and Alejandra played a fifth. Alejandra's been known to play chords on the bass in some of their songs. Like Animosity. It's bass. I'm not sure if the guitar does it too, actually, but the bass is doing da-dum at the same time. That's Ale. Cool. And I love how da-da-da-da-da, he knows that that's the outro, and even though he's soloing and improvising, he's so aware of what's happening in the song that he's playing to that he doesn't let the adrenaline or the nerves hit him or the excitement hit him, and he's right in there. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's challenging to do when you're improvising a solo. Nice. Nice ending to the drum section and the intro to the guitar solo. And here we go. Again. Let's do that again. So listen to the drums. His right hand goes over the bell on the ride cymbal. Ding, 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 ding. Very Pow-like. Excellent. He's doing her licks. And you can hear the second guitar track is just playing in the middle. It sounds it's literally the same sound that Danny uses live, so you can't tell the difference. Doubling up with what Ale is doing on the bass here. And this solo is where she sometimes uses a wah pedal, but she's not here. She's just running around stage instead, rocking out with Pow. And again, the drummer, he does that little thing on the with the left hand on the snare. And again, those triplets they just did, all three of them, flawlessly together, awesome, but not metronomic, musical. It's as though he's been playing with the band forever. I love how Ale comes running up to the front and Danny goes running up to the front because they have to be on their mics to sing this next section. And what does Pow do? So they have to be watching Pow because Pow is making this up. As she goes, she's like, I'm not going to sing this part. I'm going to have the crowd do this. So Ale and Danny are watching her like a hawk. Check out the drummer here, what he does at the end of his fill. See that? He put his hand on the tom, on the drum head, to make sure it would stop right away. The floor tom is the biggest tom. It's got a big head. And if you just hit it, taking the sound engineer out of the equation, if you were just playing drums in a room and you hit that floor tom, it doesn't sound like doomph. It sounds like doom. It literally will sound like that. Or doom. That's what a floor tom sounds like. Yes, you can mute it and you put on, the gels and other things to make it sort of sound more like doom. Okay? But that's as good as you're going to get. He's doing everything he can to catch the same breaks and stops in the song that Pow catches, and to know that he's landing on a floor tom and to catch it so that beat one is silent. There is nothing, no drums ringing through there, and he grabs it. That's experience. This is right in Pow's belt zone of her vocals, eh? I love the power she has here. And Pow caught Ale red-handed. Ale sang that. I could hear her. Ale being the only one on mic singing it. Not very loudly, but she's singing it. Which just sounds good, actually. I like it, because otherwise, if it's just the crowd, honestly, I'd rather hear them singing the ending outro. The fact that Ale's singing it flawlessly in tune and sounding great. Sounds like part of the crowd, but just better. I love it. See? I think that's the best way to end it, actually. I'm glad that Ali's saying that. Wow. Well, this is just super, super, super cool. This performance is outstanding. Just outstanding. And not only is it like, flawless, it's exciting and energetic. And Pow is on, and I'm loving this. I don't see how anyone could come away from this thinking anything other than, wow, the drummer is like an amazing front woman as well. Now, I just hope that they start releasing the other Pow songs from this concert into the public, because there were some on Patreon that were incredible, but they need to go public because Pow's other songs dwarf this one, in my opinion. Anyway, thank you all for sharing this with me. Have a great day. Like, subscribe, comment, and rock on.